Hello everyone and welcome to the coding branch. In today's video, we get to learn something fundamental to anyone who likes to work with computers. We get to learn the basics of Bash, which stands for Born Again Shell, also just known as the CLI or shell that comes with Linux operating systems. For you Windows guys, don't leave yet. You can use Bash on Windows as well, and I'm going to be showing you how today. Windows has its own flavor of CLI. The more modern approach is using Windows PowerShell. It may seem scary, but PowerShell is your friend and it will run most native Bash commands, which is nice because you don't have to learn PowerShell to use it. Meaning, the Bash scripts I'm going to be showing you today will work in a Windows terminal, Linux terminal, and a Mac terminal. I'm going to be keeping it simple and show you all of the most common commands I use every day. If you want a list of these commands, I'll leave a link in the description below. Some of you may be wondering, like I did for a long time, why should I learn the command line when I can do everything in the user interface of my computer? That is a valid question. And the answer is that you really can't do everything in your user interface that you can create with Bash scripts. The main selling point though is if you're into coding, networking, or working with computers of any kind, you can save so much of your time using it rather than the mouse. For anyone who's gotten used to any shortcuts on their computer, will understand the power of saving time with remedial tasks. Alright, now let's get right into it. If you're on Windows, open PowerShell, but I'll be using the hyperterminal today. If you're on Mac or Linux, just open a terminal. If you'd like to use the hyperterminal as well, I'll leave a link in the description for the installation, as well as the preferences I like to set it up with. To make it easier to follow along, I'll also have a folder open here on the side so I can show you the difference in using command line or the mouse. Starting simple, we're going to create a folder. To do that on your PC, as most people know, you right click, then go New folder, then type in the name of your folder. To save time and do it in the command line, you use mkdir, which stands for Make Directory. Then name it and hit enter. It's that easy. Well, say we want to go into a folder and create a text document. On our computer, you double click into the folder, again right click, and choose New. But this time hit Text Document, and you could name it from there. You'll then need a text editor to open it and edit the file. Alright, now let's back up and do it in the command line. To change directories, you'll use the command cd and then follow it with the folder's name that is nested within your current directory. On almost all CLIs, you can hit tab and the computer will assume which folder you're going into, and it will add required slashes if needed. If you want to move backwards in your directory, you can type cd .. If I hit enter, you'll see it brought me back to where I was. If you want to go to the root of your directory, you can simply type cd tilde, which is the button above the tab key. Now that we're in the root directory, to go back to where we were, we need to cd into desktop, and then folder 2, where we'll finally create that text document. You can create any type of document with this command. The command is touch. When using Bash, you can follow it with your file name and the file type you want to create. This is a text file, but I'll show you how you can quickly create a JavaScript file. Just use the same command and end it with .js. Those of you running on Windows PowerShell just got an error, and that's because PowerShell for some odd reason doesn't support the touch command. Instead they use ni, which stands for new item. That's the only super common command I've noticed that's different on Windows, so I figured I'd bring it up. Already we're doing something you can't do with your mouse. If you right click on the folder and go New, you won't see a JS file or any other file Windows doesn't want to put in their menu. Alright, now back into the command line. If we want to see what type of files are in our current directory, we type ls. That stands for list, and it lists all the things in our current directory. Although for those of you who use a computer frequently, may have noticed that there are sometimes hidden files. Well, you can create a hidden file with, again, using touch, but this time start the file name with a period. This will tell your OS that it will be a hidden file. Then if we ls everything in our directory, you'll notice you don't see the file you just created. Well, try following ls with a -a. That will show everything in your directory, including hidden files. It will also show the .. which means that we can go back a directory. Remember earlier I said in order to edit a text file you need a text editor? Well, Bash comes with a few built in. The easiest to use is Nano text editor. If you type Nano and follow it with your file name, it will allow you to edit the file. Feel free to type something in, and to exit and save, hit Ctrl X, then Y, and enter. Brilliant. Now you can also get rid of all the backlog of code by typing clear. This will clear the screen but doesn't kill the terminal. Now last but not least, say you wanted to delete what you just created. Type rm-r, then your file name. That recursively removes the file or folder you typed. So please, for your computer's sake, be very careful what you use this command on. That's what makes you dangerous with the command line. It hardly asks if you're sure, and some things are irreversible. I hope you enjoy living life on the edge from here on out. But if you enjoyed this type of shorthanded content, leave a like and don't forget to subscribe on your way out.